What's up, you guys? LQ here. If you're anything like me, you spent Thanksgiving watching a few episodes of Stranger Things, and then you spent Christmas watching a few more episodes of Stranger Things, and then New Year's Eve, 8 o'clock, your family sat down on the couch, and before that ball dropped, you had to make sure you saw the finale of Stranger Things, or maybe you were somebody who went and saw it in the theaters, and if so, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm all about supporting the theaters. But for me, we were on my living room couch in our pajamas, waiting for the ball to drop, and killed 2 hours of time by watching the finale of Stranger Things. I'm going to have a review for the finale out soon, but right now I wanted to rank the 5 seasons of Stranger Things from worst to best. So number 5 is season 2. And I think overall season 2 was the weakest of the seasons, even though I still liked it. I like every single season of this show, and I think that's one of the special things about this show is that every season was good. And season 2 was good, but for me it was the weakest. Even though it did have one of my favorite characters, Bob the superhero, this series felt like the one that was the most of a retread of the first one. It was a retread of the first one without anywhere near the stakes as the first one had, because the first one had a missing child, and this one didn't have that. This one, in a lot of ways, was a retread. The Demogorgons were the bad guys, Demodogs, if you want to be technical, but you had a retread without the same stakes. Even though Bob the superhero was great, I just didn't feel like this one had the same intensity. Number 4 is season 5. Season 5 I thought was well done. I thought that the first bunch of episodes was very good. I remember when Will, at the end of the last episode of section 1, I was just as stoked as anybody was. The middle section really kind of brought the whole thing to a halt. I just felt like it just kind of meandered through the middle part. And then the finale ramped it back up, and it had a very wonderful ending with that final game of D&D. But overall, I just didn't feel like season 5 was as strong as the 3 seasons that I had before it. All right. Number 3 is season 4. I kind of go back and forth on season 3 and season 4, but I think today I'm giving the edge to season 3. Season 4 introduces Vecna, great villain, introduces the idea of he's got to kill 4 people, Freddy Krueger style, to open up the gate, and that was a very that created for a very strong front half of the season, was the mystery as to why these people are dying, but also the Freddy Krueger components, where he's going to kill you in a dream state using things that you're afraid of or something terrible in your past to get to you. Thought some of the weaker stuff in the season was the stuff in Russia, and I also felt that some of the things that really made this one weaker was everybody was broke up. Our whole group was in different sections, in different parts of the country, in different parts of the world, really. And I feel like this is a cast that works best when everybody's together. And it just wasn't that way in the season. And like I said, the Russia stuff, I just wasn't really that interested in it. He escaped, he got caught, he escaped. The Russia stuff just did nothing for me. But great villain, great antagonist, and the highs here were really high. The highs here were higher than season 3, but the lows here were also lower than season 3. All right, number 2 is season 3. I am one of the people who love season 3. Season 3 was just, for me, it was Stranger Things in its stride. It was at the top of its game. The 80s nostalgia was at its peak. The 80s movie references were at their peak. You had the nostalgia of the shopping mall. You had a great climax with the battle of the Mind Flare. You had at the battle at Starcourt. You had a wonderful moment with Susie and Dustin's duet. One of the top moments for me in Stranger Things history was that duet, because it just came out of nowhere and it was so fun and so charming. And this for me was also you had a very good antagonist in Billy, where he was introduced in season 2, had a minor role, and then in this movie, you really see a broken person who's taken advantage of by the Mind Flayer and does terrible things, and then ultimately has a redemption arc. Even if it's a very quick redemption arc, he had that redemption arc. So for me, season 3 was phenomenal. I loved it. But I still don't think it's as good as season 1. Season 1 is the season that made me fall in love with Stranger Things. A kid goes missing. The mom, the local police chief, they start investigating and they find out there's some weird things happening here in this town. And the kids are also doing their own investigation while they come across this superhero in Elle. I thought the whole season was fantastic and introduced these wonderful characters that I love. Had the Goonies vibe, the Monster Squad vibe, a little bit of ET vibe to it. It's very Amblin Entertainment, very Spielberg. I just loved, very Stephen King too. I just loved season 1, and for me, it is still the best season of Stranger Things. So, how would you rank the Stranger Things seasons? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.